What else? Oh, hey.
Hey.
Oh shit. Okay.
I went to that parking lot over there. I was so close though.
Mm.
Tell me more about the coffee enema.
All right. Well, Michael just got here, so I'll fill you guys in on some things.
Okay.
Blaine County office is going through some shit. A little bit of background context. Murphy goes and defends Edgar. Now, granted, on my behalf, in the sense that Edgar had no lawyer. Without a lawyer, that would have been fucking ass, given it's probably one of the biggest court cases. But Princess, as she typically does, sort of leans in on that, takes a bite of whatever our office tends to do, whatever, right? She has a shared interest in it, fine, right? But the reason I bring that up in particular is Edgar is like close to Princess's now boyfriend, like in the same crew. Murphy obviously defends him. 24 hours go by and there's some shit about like rumor high school drama shit within their office with inferences that Murphy said some shit about Princess flirting with him or some like fucking shit like that. And Murphy hears this and he's like, I'm out, peace. And he's not the only one that's discontent up there. The reason I underline this is, obviously whatever they're doing, it's not really our business outside of understanding what we're working with. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Specifically how quickly I would say Princess went from praising him to flipping on him rather quickly. Where the relevancy of this comes into play is I unearthed something rather concerning.
Oh no.
I asked Turner, as I normally do, hey, do you need any money, car upgrades, whatever? He goes, no, we're fine. We just got our $5 million from the DOJ.
Huh?
And I'm like, I was like, what do you mean? Got $5 million from the DOJ? Like, what the fuck? I was like, oh yeah, Ventura told me they like fucking put it into our pursuit unit budget. And I'm just like, I just got done speaking with, well, I told Princess about it.
Oh my God.
For a number of reasons. Sometimes I like to dangle. Sometimes I like to test people. You know what I mean? And as you'll see, very few people knew about it. It was one judge, Sean, and her. And within a span of 24 hours, so what I told her was that the pursuit unit getting like $5 million effectively allows them to run autonomously, and worse than that, it's the DOJ is creating a conflict of interest by funding the police force, right?
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's like this is some like, I had to paint this example for her. It was like, it's like if the DOJ like granted me a $5 million airplane, you know what I mean?
Well, I would argue
$400 million airplane.
Like, is there a process to get this money? Do we just ask for it? Is there a form to fill out? I mean, I'm sure we would all love $5 million.
Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous too, because the DOJ is effectively showing favoritism to a police department, the police departments over everyone else in the city, right? It doesn't like, it's just gross. Now, I will say that I just got done talking to Sean and Faulkner, And they understood my concern, and I tried to be very like clear and calm about it. Like, look, I get it happens, but this is like really bad, right? Yeah. In said conversation, I'll go as far as saying is that the fact that the police department didn't acknowledge this as being a problem is a problem in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right. And why I'm sort of grateful for people like Barrett, which I know he's got. People have his issues with him, right? Because sure, he's done some wild shit. He at least has some semblance of understanding of like why those things are bad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I will say Turner also acknowledged that being very odd. But you know, the pursuit unit is something that's sort of outside of his, like, you know, you mean like he's just nodding to it. He didn't really. But anyways, they're gonna stop sending money to it. I think we should consider reversing those transactions.
I agree.
I would agree to that.
I also stirred, and I told Princess, because I know she yaps, that I was going to possess all the pursuit vehicles.
When did you tell her that?
Why?
When?
Yesterday.
Do you remember what time?
Around 4 p.m.
Okay, so I flew back into town around 8 or 9, and I crossed paths with Sean at Senior Buns, and we were chopping it up for a couple minutes, and then Princess called him, and I could tell it was something serious they were talking about, but I didn't get to close the loop because I ended up getting taken hostage. But I wonder if it was about that. And Sean wanted to finish the conversation, so I might reach out to him if he's awake tonight, and I'll follow back up with you. But oh man,
I did see him at City Hall probably about an hour ago.
Yeah, he should be around. I'll give him a call.
Oh, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was around.
Like, if you look at the Constitution, public service isn't in the purview of the DOJ. So I don't know why they felt compelled to send money to the PD in the first place.
They also sent, yeah. I don't know. It's let's just call it the old stain of the old guard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I will say that Faulkner and Sean understood it walking out of that meeting. Now, or it's the aura our office has created because they know what's going to happen otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they want to be found liable. I do think we should have that money pulled back out. And I think it should go back to the DOJ. Whatever remains. Let them keep what they want. But knowing what Princess would likely do, because this is a two-pronged thing, right? One is, realistically, none of this really needed to be kept too hush-hush because the action's already taken, right?
Yeah.
It just needed to avoid conflict, because if it becomes conflict anyways, they fuck themselves because it goes to the state. And you know how that's going to go, because this is very blatant, right? Yeah. A DOJ giving money to, without authorization, without the mayors being involved, you're effectively paying an interest group, right?
Yep.
I might as well. It's like if we just started giving Hydra and Cypress and like all these groups just money just like this. Like, you guys are all in debt. Don't worry, I got you. Daddy's here.
Well, even from a different angle, you could argue that the payment itself is usurping the constitutional authority of the mayors in the first place.
You are correct. Now, I will say that, they were understanding of it. They're going to pause on that. I do think we reverse those transactions for at least what's left, and they can certainly come to myself and Princess. But like I said, with the way Princess has been moving lately, starting with her sort of odd reaction to she's giggling one day and the next day obsessively. You were there that day? Yeah.
Mason Dixie.
Yeah, that was odd. And then her outburst on Monday, not really so much, it was less of an outburst, but she was strangely defending Pestilence over me saying he's pretty much a serial killer or some shit. Like, just as an example, tongue in cheek, right? Not even like, and she was very annoyed by that comment, for lack of a better word. She's been a yapper, right? I mean, there's like yapping like me, but then there's yapping like tell everyone and your fucking mother everything that you see, right? And so I told her that I'm gonna go and repossess all the Pursuit unit cars and then sell them back to the PD at 50%, and we'll split the money. And lo and behold, Sean tells me that Ventura called him up shortly after, shortly thereafter. So,
oh my god.
So, you know, hook, line, and sinker, you know what I mean? But I bring this up in that when it does come to any serious shit, she pretty much is a signature. She can't know anything of value. Yeah. She doesn't know how to. I'll put it like this. She is, and we'll get to this other topic. She's the Bruce Baylor. Blaine County. Blaine County.
You good? You having a stroke?
No, I was.
Do you smell toast?
I think I chugged a little too hard on this coffee. Mid talk. The moment this conversation came up, this morning, she is hyper focused on asking me, and I hate this topic, and I hope you guys understand why. She wants DOJ gets 75% of bills. She wants the county to get matched from the DOJ what the PDs are getting. I'm like, listen, I'm not playing that game because that DOJ account's probably a black hole, right? And unless like a state official comes in and says you guys can go down this route, I'm not entertaining that. Like, it's just, it's, you know, it's outside of my interest area. My point here is the moment any conversation happens about money, I don't know what possesses her. But to read her latest text message, she goes, question. Now, bear in mind, we're talking about Pursuit Unit getting $5 million, thus undermining both her office and my office, and effectively making it so that they can do whatever the fuck they want, irrespective of what, you know, the county wants. She goes this morning, after I told her not to tell a single fucking soul, she goes, question. If the DOJ are willing to give money from the DOJ account to the Pursuit Unit, which she knows is not the case, mind you, she somehow is like cooked it into believing this, for cars, and to Sama for medical research, which, mind you, didn't happen. Is there any reason why we can't ask for money from them as well? So you can see where this is going, right? Her only interest is, hey, someone's got money. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's the interest. She's not interested in the problem, but rather, is this an outlet to get the county more money? Which I can kind of understand to a degree, but it's kind of...
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Would it hurt for someone to just run their operation based on the budget they have available to them? Like, would that be such a bad fucking thing?
You're not wrong, right? But I'd say that, Michael, under the guise of you recognize how cooked everybody is, right? Shit's pretty diluted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if she's so worried about money, why doesn't she do what we were planning on doing? And just stripping the BCSO of their account and having that money directed to the Blaine County Mayor's account.
Because she's probably getting pushback. Because she told me that because McNulty is taking that money and doing events. Do you know anything about this?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So I respond to her, the DOJ shouldn't be granting anyone money outside of their purview as it opens up multiple avenues of corruption. I don't think any of that should be happening. I don't think any of what has happened is intentional, as it appears those things were a mistake. And I said, not much different than if the DOJ gifted me, under quotes, a new jumbo jet. Because, like, I don't know how else to paint this, right? Like,
Yeah.
So y'all know the reference, right? Maybe?
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. And she said, can we chat? I called her and I've been... Now, at the end of the day, right, I'm not... the reason I bring this up is this is probably a topic that, like, even when I did call her yesterday, it very quickly turned into, why can't we take money out of DOJ's account for this, that, and the third? And I don't know how to put it other than this is outside of our purview. It's a slippery slope. It's probably no different than if I start flooding the entire city with $400 million, right? It's we should know it's not a good thing. So, anyways, any questions in regards to that whole sort of thing?
My whole issue is that no amount of money is going to make Blaine County Los Santos County. So why fixate on money?
I have yet to understand, and this is something I told Sean and Faulkner, is that her account had $48 million in it, roughly. 45 to 48 million. I don't remember the exact. Before she took over from Mumbles.
Yeah.
It hit 7 million 3 weeks later. And that every mayor prior to her allowed that budget to increase, and she cooked it in 3 weeks. Her expenditure is the problem. It's not that they're not making any money, right? Because, and I know when I last brought up that topic, she tried to infer that that's not true. It's because DCSO used to get paid $800. That's not true. Fred changed that under his office,
That's
and they
right.
were still making money.
Yeah.
It's that she's buying all kinds of fancy shit for herself.
Yeah.
And when Pred got that jet, or no, they got the jetpack.
The jetpack, yeah.
Her first statement was, "Oh, I guess I'm going to use all the money then, and keep it for myself."
Yeah.
She also made the statement, if I use up all the money in the account, she's not only told me this, but told me that, but apparently told Sean this too, that her master plan is spend all the money so the state has to bail her out. I'm like, Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how that's going to look?
I was
Look,
told
my
that too.
fucking governor will probably fly in and put a bullet in it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that conversation? Hey, dog, we're out of money. So anyways, well, it gets worse.
Oh, great.
About a month ago, 3 weeks ago, Faulkner thought it was a good idea, because I wondered why their account went 20, gave them $16 million as a upfront payment for payments to government entities, so that she could keep lawyer pay and judge pay up. Well, they're at 12 million in that account, so she's already eaten it up. I was just here doing the Excel sheets to see, because I told Faulkner, I'm like, brother, there's no way they have a 16 million government run rate for judges, lawyers, and like for the prison.
No,
I was like,
listen,
there's
yeah.
no way. I'm like, because you guys aren't up there very often, right? And I'm like, she's probably eating that up. So I let them know about that. I did make it rather clear that my interest in all of this is not to see them fail. It's that we cannot be utilizing, and they understood this, is that if we're utilizing these big budgets, right, to bail out everybody, there is no point in a government.
Yeah.
You might as well just put a fucking vending machine there with everything, you know? Put all the money inside of it, put all the guns inside of it, put all the fucking supercars inside of it, and people just walk up to it and be like, I want this. That's not good.
I understand
Right?
that you said that you would
It's not the end of the world if the PD's low on money, if they have to, you know, I don't know, have a budget meeting with their mayor, right? And ask for money. Just like every other citizen in the in Los Santos does. Everyone else does it. Why can't the PD? Right?
Yeah, I agree completely.
So
On my way to meet my manager, like I
all right. Anything else we want to talk about in terms of that topic? I think in terms of like next steps for getting the money and stuff, we can cook that for tomorrow. I do have a Excel sheet. I can share it if you want to take a look.
Please. Yeah.
Jason, I had called you before Michael gave me a call, so this is going to be a one-on-one, but Michael being here, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not. I don't mind.
Bruce is... I wanted to give him an opportunity, right? Which is... I always like to find good in people. And I think that's like one important thing with our office is everyone deserves a fair shake. Bruce, I think, is probably a really nice guy. But, and this might... Probably noticed earlier when I said Princess is like the Bruce Baylor of Blaine County. That is in reference to my... Well, let me tell you what happened. We had the...
Right. I was gone for a few days over the weekend, and then I've been not in the city as often while I was working on the audit, and I have gotten messages from Martha, and I was trying to help Martha. Emails. I've gotten emails from Martha. I was trying to help Martha through whatever was going on. I don't have the full detail. Then when I came back into the city, like my normal schedule again on Monday, I have tried reaching out to Bruce to figure out his side of everything, and he hasn't responded to my text.
So I'll give you... So there's probably things that you know that I'm unaware of. I learned through... No. I learned through Junior that Martha quit the court center. And I'm like, what? And she said, according to him... So I wanted to hear from Martha directly. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. She had told Junior that she was done listening to Bruce telling her what to do, and then taking all his her orders and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I was like, what the fuck? Wait, why would Bruce be telling Martha what to do? He's like just the mechanic guy, right? And why is he taking the orders? Like something... So I wanted to get to the bottom of it myself. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to reach Martha. So I want to get like Bruce's side of things. And that first conversation I had just with myself, and I mostly listen. And the best way I can explain it is I asked some like simple questions, and it was the most sussy conversation I've had in a minute. I think the questions were like, hey, like, are you taking like, are you doing orders? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you... And he was like, oh yeah, you know, like, da-da-da-da, you know, he starts talking like really fast, and like, it's almost in a way where he's saying so much unrelated information, almost as if it's like a distraction tactic. But to be transparent, I don't know if it's intentional or he's actually sus. I genuinely still do not know, because I feel like he's a good guy, but at the same time, I think he's like, maybe he doesn't know how to talk or something. I don't fucking know. But he started saying things like, oh yeah, I saw these orders and I didn't know what to do, and like no one is here, so I just like fulfilled all these orders for like 25,000 materials each because someone needed it. And I was like, Like, I'm like, have you done it before? He's like, no, I had to do it that day. I was like, okay, did you ask Martha? And she's like, oh, I don't know if she was around. I was like, okay, did you ask? Like, did you see if she was around? I was like, okay, whatever. I let that go. I was like, you know how much we're supposed to be giving folks, right? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the emails. I'm like, okay. I then, just out of curiosity, I was like, so how's the mechanic stuff going? Do you know what I think by now, I think I had gotten your expense sheet. So I had been in the middle of kind of taking a look at it. And while you did an amazing job there, I wanted to get his personal I wanted to get the on the ground explanation, right, to make your data make sense to me. So I asked him, I'm like, so what do you think our run rate is right now? And he's like, he doesn't have an answer. I'm like, okay, well, he's confused or something. I'm like, I try to simplify it, and to be rather transparent, I'm not even trying to grill him. I'm just genuinely curious. I want to know how the court center's going. You know what I mean? How are things? And even the most simplest questions, how much money is coming in? How much are you spending on pots? How much is going out? How many customers? He doesn't have an answer for anything. Well, he does have an answer, but they're 15-minute long explanations that don't even answer the question. So I am so sussed out by this conversation at the end of it that I'm like, all right, listen, you know what? Something doesn't make sense. I speak to Martha the next day. And apparently every time she speaks to Bruce, he just, and this is her words and I'm paraphrasing, she's just kind of mansplaining everything. Just, this is how the, oh, you know what I'm saying? He's giving her she'll be
Yes.
asking something simple and he's giving fucking 15-minute diatribes on an unrelated topic, and Martha's just and she's telling me he's driving people out, they all think he's scamming, I hear all this and it's clear to me, having spoken to her and the way she presented the problem and why she was frustrated, and the way that Bruce was answering questions, that fundamentally it wasn't a good match. Because I, at the end of it, realized that he's making court center unintentionally, let's say, unapproachable for the common person or the people that we want running the place. And to use Martha's phraseology, he's a very nice guy, but the moment money comes into the picture, something changes in his eye and he turns into someone else. And I'm like, all right. Michael and I spoke to Bruce to follow this up. And I'm going to let Michael give his rendition of it.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Do I really have to?
I mean, I've given, it's better for, to hear someone else's perspective, right?
I can tell it went swimmingly just by that reaction.
I mean, to be honest, it was really just more of the same. I joked to Nino when the conversation was over, not to gloss over everything, but I said I blocked out what happened. And it was because effectively, questions were asked and answers were not provided. And while Bruce was trying to explain the operation to Nino, I was looking at the numbers myself. And I had been told this already, but I wanted to see the data. And what I found was Bruce himself has profited nearly $4.5 million selling junk parts that have never sold from the court center. And when we asked him, are you adjusting prices? Are you adjusting our minimum inventory based on sales history? The answer was effectively that's not my lane.
Yeah, or look at the logs.
But that is his lane. That was his lane. He was literally hired to manage the car parts for the court center because I don't know anything about car parts.
Yeah.
That was his lane. And then he decided to step out of his lane and into Martha and my lane, which was everything else with court center. And that's when everything got turned into chaos the last couple of weeks.
So that's where, you know, my red flag starts going off when I see that amount and I realize that he is probably the biggest beneficiary in terms of sales to the court center, and he's basically selling to himself, you know, unfettered, which is problematic. But we asked him that, and that was the gist of his answer to everything. No, I didn't adjust prices. No, I
not
didn't
my
adjust
lane.
inventory. Exactly.
That reminds me. We would ask, have you? He's like, no one wants to buy from the court center. No one wants to go to the buy store. No one wants. It's no one wants to buy because like you guys are purchasing things for way too cheap. And I'm like, have you brought it up to Jason? No, but like, I mean, why? That's not my job. Like, that's not. I'm like, what do you mean? You're a manager. What do you mean you can't be like, hey, Jason, I think the parts are like this. You know, he literally knows that the business model and pricing for car parts is too low, but he won't tell anybody, right? And he's like, I'm pretty much the only one that sells to us anymore. And like I think what Michael said is he's you ready for this? There's only two people that allegedly, this is the thing that really pisses me off, is nobody except for Chaos and someone else is even buying car parts. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like people would rather go to me for B2 customs and buy from me because rather than save 30%. And I'm like, bull fucking shit. I didn't say that to him, but I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Like, yeah, what I think is happening is he's leveraging the court center prices to get better sales.
Well, I think it's even more than that. I think I know he's opening boxes, and I guarantee you he's keeping the stage 5s to sell privately through his business and offloading the shit he knows he won't sell to the court center, where it sits in boxes and eventually rusts away.
Yeah, and I told him too, like, why don't you reduce the volume? Oh, not my problem.
Mank set the limits. That's what it was.
Yes. It's like, brother, that was like 3 months ago. At one point, he's like, oh, yeah, I set the prices. You approved of it. It's in the emails. It's in the emails. It's in the transaction log. I'm like, when was that? It was 2 months ago.
Fucking February or something.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So when we originally hired him on and I went through the onboarding process with him, I told him, you are responsible for setting prices. You are responsible for setting quantities, because I don't know what the market for parts is, and I don't know how much we need. So for him to say that wasn't his job is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was like listening to a liar get caught. I actually think it's much worse because he made it a point to say he logs and tracks everything, which tells me that he's doing some sussy shit and he thinks he got away with it. So, is it 4 million, Michael?
Stage 3 and under was 4 million. If you add in stage 4, it was over 6.
Wait, he sold?
No, he sold to the court center.
Stage 1, 2s, and 3s?
Right. And
what?
To the tune of 4 million.
He said he gave it for free.
No.
Shut up.
Okay, so I know he did give us a bunch of free parts right at the beginning. But I thought it was stage 4s and 5s he was selling to court center.
Wait, he did $4 million of sales of stage 1s to 3s?
Stage 1 to 3 between the dates of April 24th, going back to January 13th, right? Before he was an employee, mind you. But stage 1 to 3 was...
Oh, no. We have to do post-employee. I know he was. This guy was doing some scumbag shit in the beginning, right?
So when do you remember when exactly? It was around March, wasn't it?
2 months ago, I'd say.
Yeah, so Mark.
So stage 3 and under, still 2 mil of sales to the court center.
So he stole $2 million.
Let me tack on stage 4, which also don't really sell. $3.3 million.
This guy, brother.
And I mean, we went through
Is he
the
taking
boxes.
paychecks? Are we cutting him paychecks, Jason?
That I know.
Yes, but he wasn't getting manager pay. I was paying him instead of 10,000 an hour, it was 5,000.
How much
Still
has
a
he
lot of
taken
money.
out in paychecks?
I can tell you. I don't have an exact number. I thought I did on here, but it looks like about $1 million.
This guy is a scam artist. Holy fuck.
It's 5,000 an hour, you said?
No way he's selling ones,
Yeah.
twos, and threes. Like you're saying March and afterwards? Just if it's just 1, 2s, and 3s.
I know. She thinks
How much
we're
is
all
the total
sisters from
in the
another
last 2
mister or
months?
something,
Ones,
and
twos, and
barely
threes?
ever hung out.
2
Yeah.
million. 2 million.
Lord.
Ha! Here you go,
What else is he selling?
bitch.
Hold on.
So I'll see you next weekend.
Like this is fundamentally the issue, right?
So
Is
1.6 million in wages.
yo, this guy is something else. See, this is the
And
problem.
I thought we had put a pause on 1, 2s, and 3s.
We
I thought we
did.
weren't buying them. And when I looked, I didn't see any quartz purchases of 1s, 2s, and
Better have a damn
maybe some 3s. But I didn't see 1s and 2s.
I'm just going by the audit from court center, from the dashboard.
Okay.
We've got armor plating, chest armor, computer desks,
He's selling this?
keypads. Oh yeah, he sold a shit ton of keypads at one point. Like we have 2 boxes full of keypads there for some reason.
Wait, you're saying sold or
Yeah,
purchased?
Sold.
Sold.
Okay.
We bought them because we needed a bunch, and then I bought too much.
Okay. But like, in terms of like what
But
he
that was
sold,
back
Michael?
January, February.
Oh, gotcha. Michael, in the last 2 months, though, what did he sell?
Other than car parts, chest armor, and armor plate. But
And
that
how
was
much?
like 140,000.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No,
The 1, 2, and
it's
3s kind of annoy the shit out of me.
It's just me and my man fighting.
I say we just fire him.
I think that's probably the best choice.
Whether or not it's worth recuperating and like suing him, I don't think I want to hear him in court. I'm going to be honest. Otherwise, I'd probably blow his brains out.
I think he was just not a good manager.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
If he was just a sales guy and he was like just court center sales guy, he'd be really good at that.
yeah. Holy fucking shit. That is crazy. Ones, twos, and wait, Michael, how much did he sell in 4s and 5s and other engine? Did he sell engine? Like, if you subtract the 1s, 2s, and 3s,
I'm
right, and you have everything else, how much did he make?
Oh, hold on.
Really? I knew
You mean in terms of actually selling to the public or personal, like selling to the court center?
Court center.
So just stage 5s and engine parts?
Yeah.
Including slicks and semi-slicks. Hold on. $2 million.
So that wouldn't bother me. That 2 million. It's that 4 million. I think we need to ask him. I want that money back for the 1s, 2s, and 3s, and I think he just gives it on principle. Because to me, the 1s, 2s, and 3s is there is no fucking way in a million years this guy thought it would be appropriate to sell those 3. Like, I'm trying to justify in my mind how that makes sense. It just, he's literally sold us $4 million of trash. I don't fucking get it. I don't. I can't. It doesn't add up in my head. It's a slap in the face for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. Anyways. With that said, Jason, what are your thoughts?
We were talking about the last couple of months, right? Not back when we didn't know there was a market for items.
No, it's 4 million for 1s, 2s, and 3s in the last 2 months.
Hold on. I gotta rerun those numbers now.
Okay, because I was looking at the court center and the transactions, and I'm not seeing 1s, 2s, and 3s.
I agree with you that if it was before the last 2 months, it's whatever, right?
Yeah. I'm going to get a clean sheet, and I'm going to set up pivot tables, and then I'll get you a final number.
Okay. All right. If it ends up not being a gross amount, then, and I trust you, Jason, with what you're saying there. There's probably a mistake on Michael's part. Maybe we just kind of wipe our hands and just kind of move on.
Right. I just wanted to make sure I was seeing the same thing as Michael, because I didn't want to pro or con without looking at the actual items. But I'm seeing stage 3s in March and April, but I'm not seeing any stage 1s or 2s other than back January, February.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll set up a pivot table and I'll share my data. Honestly, I'm less concerned about the money and I'm more concerned about the answers. Not my lane, not my responsibility.
Yeah,
someone else did this. If you want to manage.
Right. My main concern, and this hasn't even been brought up yet, we touched on it briefly, is the material. Bruce had no reason to be buying or selling for Mopec. And then when he was told that, no, you can only buy 10,000 for Mopec at the 8 per, I think that's when he started telling Martha she didn't know what she was doing. And that's what was the tipping point for Martha. And like I said, I was out of the city at the time, and I'm like, Martha, I will deal with Bruce when I come back into the city. Just ignore him. Don't answer his calls. Don't answer his texts. Don't sell him anything. And then I don't know what happened after that to push her over to actually quitting. But I don't know why, Bruce. We made that change. We spoke about adding the Mopec.
What do you think?
Yeah, the separate category.
Yeah, the separate category. on the website, and then all of a sudden Bruce is trying to buy 50,000 materials at 8 per when he's and putting on an employee discount that I don't even know how to use. On top of it, and I was like, you don't
wait,
get
did he buy it for himself?
Yes, he was trying to buy it for himself.
What is wrong with this guy? What the fuck?
And then he tried telling Martha, well, I'm a mechanic too. And she's like, well, then it's 10 per, or a max of 10,000.
I'm going to kill him.
Yes. Yes. So that's,
no.
That's like
this man
started,
dead.
I think the tipping point for Martha was the materials. And then I heard whispers, I don't know how true this is, that our material count is off. Before I left, it was spot on because Quantum sold us 90,000 materials and we had 90,000, well, 80,000 materials because I had a MOPEC order waiting. And then I heard whispers that our materials were off. And so I put keypads, I sent you both an email with the code for them on the materials because Bruce had no authority as a mechanics manager to be selling MOPEC materials. So there's something going on with those. I did just a quick look through them and we had more materials than what the website said we should. So I threw those under the non-MOPEC materials.
Okay, good. Oh my God. Yeah, this guy's cooked. I'm just gonna assume he's just cooked. Like, I think that's probably the case, is like, yeah, let's just fire him. Doesn't work out. I think in regards to how we run sales, we should overpay and undersell on everything. Actually, you know what, Jason? I think I'm going to let you have some time to think about what you think should happen.
Okay.
But I think we need somebody to be running day-to-day executive around tsunami time. And the reason is that is when the city is peaking, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Now, that would still give you sort of like high level, like executive decision making, but on day-to-day decision making, we need somebody. I don't know who that would be. To be honest,
and we're talking about the beginning of this storm, not the beginning of next storm.
Beginning
correct?
of this storm, yeah.
Okay.
Things start to taper off around like 7 p.m. nowadays, and
okay. I can think on a few people. I have a few, but I don't know. I would want to look into them a bit more first.
Yeah, active around very often. The face,
yes.
right?
You remember when turbos were in short supply and 100 mils were going for like 25K each?
Yeah.
He sold himself 10 100 mil turbos from the Court Center at 10K.
Why?
Because he could sell them in the open market for 25, 30.
Yo, I'm literally gonna get him killed. I'm literally putting out a hit after this.
Why don't you just increase our price and be honest?
This is like, this isn't a nice guy thing. This is like, this guy's a fucking scammer. I don't understand. You have to understand where I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Like, this guy's name was dragged through the fucking mud.
No, he sold them to himself for 8K because he put on his employee discount.
That's right. I don't see that in here. Yeah, I don't see that in here.
What is wrong with this guy? What the fuck?
Yeah, when you export it to Excel, you don't see the discounts. You have to look on the website for them.
Oh,
it's
perfect.
kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
LSPD is banned from buying anything from B2 Customs or Bruce Baylor.
Okay, I need to cancel my order. Order 6 from him.
Yep. If you guys need something, we will provide it. That guy, you are right. You are right. Never should have defended him. He's a fucking scumbag.
Agreed, but sometimes you got to give people a chance to see it yourself. So.
Yep. That's how it is. I also need your best forensics, financial forensics guy. Have him give me a call.
Financial forensics. Okay, that's probably Opal, Masters, one of those two, most likely, off the top of my head. Maybe I'll send you Wes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
If you guys have any problems with any of it, we're kind of going to be planning a relaunch of Quartz so that you're not dealing with some of the headaches you were dealing with previously.
Sounds good.
So,
we appreciate it.
And if you're finding that you can't get something, have like a report open maybe that's like shareable to me. Oh my God. You should make a shareable report for me so that anyone in PD, if they're looking for certain types of parts, and like myself, Jason, Michael, could be shared that report. Like, let's say you need things, and you could put like, 5/16/2025 having trouble getting slicks. That gives us an idea to poke our internal buyers to get you what you need.
What do you think about so does that mean you're going to support bulk orders then, or are you looking more still individual?
We're going to handle bulk orders.
Okay. We just put a massive order in, and they're having a hard time filling it right now. So,
we'll find the way.
15 sets of stage 5s. 15 sets of slicks.
We'll find the way.
Okay.
Even if it means we pay other dealers more money, we don't want to do anything with B2.
Okay. I'll have to see if this, because the order was put in, I'll have to see what kind of progress they're having on that. I'll check with Peters.
Yep.
And see what the current progress is on it. And if they're having a hard time, I'll tell them to, we'll just pay up for what we have right now. And what kind of turnaround time we looking for if we put it in for y'all?
I mean, give me a list and we'll figure it out. I think it's going to give us a good, we'll make sure you get like a nice fucking discount on this shit. Let us handle the rest. Do a shared report. Share it too. Can you write these CIDs down?
Yep. Ready for them.
It's going to be 116. Jason, what's yours?
Hang on. 116.
My state ID is 7420.
Yeah, 116. Isn't that mine?
No, that's 3 digits.
Oh, 1166. Sorry. And then what's yours, Jason?
7420.
7420. Michael, what's yours?
13200.
13200. And what that's going to do is give us a objective, and even if that means we're putting money in the hands of every other fucking business in the city to get it, pay more in order to fulfill your orders, we'll do that. But we're cutting that tie. Separately, I've spoken to DOJ that 5 million that went to the pursuit team should not have happened. It's illicit fundamentally, because they oversee court cases, funding of police departments outside of their purview. I think in relation to the LSPD, I would like you to secure half of that budget back into your own account, or alternatively, we're going to be seizing the 5 million back. So I want you to.
So I believe there's 600,000 left in it right now.
Oh,
it just came from the bank.
Okay. I would take
the majority.
300.
That's you'll take 300.
Yeah. Well, you can take the 300.
Right. Can I get something in writing, just so, because if I get questioned about this, I want to make sure I have a paper trail.
Well, I mean, it's your money, right? It's a joint account.
So my understanding of it was that there was a proposal put together for the DOJ saying that we needed something. I mean, that's what I was told was happened. So I hope that's the case.
So
if not, then I have an issue with Ventura.
It's kind of like a mixed bag, right? And so a proposal schmozel at the end of the day, the police department getting money from the Department of Justice creates a conflict of interest, because effectively they're funding a different county's police department when the DOJ's purview is overseeing the police, right? It's effectively no different than like if the DOJ started gifting me an airplane, right?
Like a $400 million airplane.
Like a $400 million airplane.
Let's see.
Now, I can understand, given that, that sort of relationship may not be easily seen, but then it goes into question, right? That money goes into that account, and then all of a sudden, people's significant others are getting paid money for car parts and for repairs. Like, well, things start to look really questionable.
That's fair enough. So who's in the wrong here? Are we in the wrong for the DOJ, or is DOJ in the wrong here?
DOJ's in the wrong for giving it out in the same way they should not have given $16 million to Blaine County. I have since had those conversations. I don't think we need to be too retroactive about it, but just not do it again in the future. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that it doesn't blur the lines of undermining the authority of the respective mayors and their departments, but also introduce questions of conflict, right? And I kind of put it like this to them, and I think they understood. We came out, the meeting ended up very good. I explained that it's for that very reason when the marshals didn't have money, I didn't go and say, hey, Barrett, here's $20 million. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting anything from you, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? So when we gave it to the marshals, the entirety of the legislative authorities decided to all chip in, right? So that there would be no conflict, right? So,
yeah, I'm trying to remember what the context was and why it got approved. Now. It all makes sense. I don't know. I don't think I've seen the BCSO without money.
Ventura should be asking his mayor. Y'all should be asking me. And, that's kind of our role, right?
I think at the time his mayor had no money.
No,
they
had
red, supposedly.
Nah. So
they've had stumbles.
No, they had 48 million in the account.
Really?
Yeah, 48 million. Princess took took the mayorship in 3 weeks. She burned $40 million, and then she got re-injected with 16 million to pay for DOJ funds. And we're just learning that she, God knows what the fuck she did with most of that. So there's a lot of. Listen, I wish I could be an evil mayor. I really do, Turner. I really do. So I could have my, my Joker moment, and then Turner comes in and goes, "Oh my God, this guy's evil." I can't do that because this fucking scumbag would be on
fire.
It would be on. I unfortunately, yeah. So, but that's kind of the long and short of it. I mean, if it's at 600,000, like I said, I think in terms of funding, I'd like it to happen directly through the mayor's offices. That's the appropriate way of doing things. And if we do get to a point where there's like a huge conflict, let's have it play out. You know what I mean?
What do you foresee happening then if you see huge conflict?
What's Jeb's unit called?
The RP unit.
Yeah.
I'm not picking it up.
We start using his unit to fund things or something.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
I think enough. If you guys need things, we'd have a budget meeting. You know what I mean? And
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm trying to. I am very much being very careful with the budget. I don't want to get to the point where I have to come to you for money, but if it comes down to that, then so be it.
No, let's have budget meetings. I think that's a fun thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it whatsoever. I just haven't needed it yet, so.
Yeah.
But we can do that. We can sit down and break things down. I haven't done that either myself.
Buy your cops what you need. You know what I mean? What they need. And don't worry too much about like the money's getting low or whatever. I think if anything, that creates a interesting predicament where you guys are coming with like, here's what we need, you know, bring pitas, whatever. It turns into a whole thing. We'll sign off on some stuff. I mean, effectively, let me put it this way. Every civilian in the city has to put in budget requests, and we've processed about 260 of them. And I think the PD should effectively be no different in that respect. I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely spend it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's all cars. If I'm going to be completely honest,
Hey,
it's all cars.
soup them up. Soup them up, brother. Just make sure it's only for your cops, though.
Oh no, absolutely. And then I guess the next, we just got another 250,000, I think, from the from the DOJ. You remember the money they promised us, essentially due to the whole case that transpired, where they said they dropped the ball and they'd cover their aspect of it.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay. I think if I'm not mistaken, that was a Hydra case where they overturned a search warrant, said it was an illegal search warrant. And then that wasn't the case, and they ended up not overturning it, and they said they'd cover their aspect of it. They paid us 250,000.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So just so you know, I'm sure you're gonna see that on our books
Absolutely.
at some point whenever they decide to send that.
Yep. All right. Okay. Beautiful.
Anything else I got to bring up with you? Nakota. I want Nakota to be there for the meeting tomorrow, for the VAF meeting that we're gonna have.
Did we schedule that for tomorrow?
We did.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know in advance, because.
Well, that's got to be pushed off now.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
He's got some things he had to fly back home for. So.
All right. Do you have any others that can attend the meeting, so it's not like you, me, and a rat?
Well, no, not right now. Not specifically, because he's the one who's been writing the majority of it. So I think it'd be truthfully unfair to not have him there.
What about Peters?
I mean, Peters, I don't mind anybody being present. I have no issue with that.
That's what I mean.
I just want him there to be able to explain everything as well.
I know, absolutely. All right. Turner, we'll catch up more tomorrow. I'm in the midst of a meeting right now. We're sorting out the problem I just talked about with the car parts and stuff. But as soon as you can get me that list, the better, so that we have foresight as to what needs to be brought in, and we're going to make things a little bit more palpable for you guys.
I can tell you exactly what we need now. I already shared the report. I'll put it on paper for you.
Perfect.
I'll give you just a preliminary report preliminary order, and let's see how long it takes to get that filled and how tough that is as kind of a trial run, if you're up for that.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I'd say get what you can from the other shops as you can at the same time. And if they're overcharging, just fucking pay them and we'll pay the difference. We just want to cut off Bruce from literally scamming everybody.
So you know Miguel Almirian?
Yeah.
That's who we're ordering through right now, and he said he would undercut anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, it's only
Plain
B2.
and simple, so.
Easy. Okay.
So we're going through him for this order right now.
Yeah.
I think he said he had 5 sets of stage 5s, or we're supposed to have them good to go. We're going to get those, and if he has a hard time getting the rest, we can put a stop on that order and wait for y'all to fill that order then.
Love it. All right.
All right,
Turner.
good.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Nino. All right,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Pursuit Unit account has 600,000. I told Turner to take half of it. I mean, look, this could sound petty, but like, how the fuck are these people cops? And they're like, yo, this money's coming unappropriated from the DOJ, and you're not like, hold on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no shot. I also recommended, so you should see on your shared reports, he's going to put all the parts that PD's looking for, and that will give us like kind of an idea what PD's getting. I think we start giving them bulk sales. Furthermore, and Jason, I want you to stop me. Look, what the fuck is that behind us? You see that?
Helicopter?
Yeah, orange.
Somebody's about to make a poor life decision.
That's not a typical heli, too. Oh, Oh, someone's taking. That's a training airplane.
Oh, yeah, the yellow one. Okay.
Yep. And I think part of it is they normally got to send out photos. So, pilot. What was I gonna say? Shit. Oh yeah, I told them don't do any business with B2. And let me propose something to you, Jason. I don't want you to give me an answer today. I want you to kind of like mull on this. I love what you're doing with the outlet thing, right? It's themed. Mm-hmm. It gives people like, I think the way it should work is that if someone's running any of those outlets, they can do it through courts, and we will pay them 30% on top of the sales they make. Like, they cut their prices, they sell at 30%. Like, if you own a business, right?
Yes.
And let's say you're selling at $100,000 normally in the back of a trunk. If you sell it while clocked in for at least 30 minutes or some shit at the court center, have them sell it for 30% less, and we'll pay the difference.
Okay. I actually really like that.
Yeah. So we're sort of creating our own ticket system in a way, right?
Yes. Is there going to be a way that people can clock in and out at court center, or is that still kind of pretty far down on the priorities?
I would chat with the intern. I don't know how interested he is in working on the court site, but maybe. And that might already be in there. Or maybe we have to hire them as an employee or some shit. Uncertain. But I think that's something we should mull on and see what the feasibility of it is. In terms of PD orders, though, I'm thinking let's buy at a higher rate from the right people, whether it's like Dildo's Place or any of these other mechanic folks. Just once again, Bruce is completely we're just going to ban him from the place as far as I'm concerned. Guy's made enough money. Overpay if we need to, and then we sell bulk to the PD. So if
we're having issues getting parts, and I'm not saying we will, but if we are, would you entertain Jason buying the crypto?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
But the thing is, right, like, we need to make sure we scale, and this comes back to we need like kind of an executive head at the court center. Martha's a fantastic front person, right? But we need someone that, I think there are people in the city that may not understand the market, but can figure it out if they become given the responsibility.
Yeah.
In fact, who's that person that just became a manager at the hot dog place? Audra is her name, I think.
Audra Rose. Yeah. She the material hub with me. Yeah.
As an example, she might be that person. Right? Maybe. I like someone like that, right? A good enough head on their shoulders that they can figure it out. Because at the end of the day, like, what's happening? They're just kind of like figuring out what people sell shit for. Right?
Stating Sean Danielson. I've known her for a while. She's a good person.
I'm not saying it's her, but I'm just kind of giving an example of, hey, there are people like that out there.
The type of person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. She's actually a good shout. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that episode was great.
Okay. Oh man, sorry, I'm exhausted from yapping. But
what are you talking about? It's still early.
Oh my God, I've had to. It's been a. Oh man.
Did the rest of that report I sent you make sense though?
I think if Saturday. I think we should chat about it like earlier in the day and kind of go through it. I briefly went over it, and then I realized like it's best that you're there, so if I have questions we can like collectively go over it.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Oh, I spoke to Danger. I was concerned that we've paid him out $3.5 million.
Yes.
I do think that for his own and our good, he refunds back about $1 million.
Okay.
And I love Danger. He's fantastic. But it's optics, right? And can we justify him effectively having a cabinet level, paycheck? Even, well, you tell me, is there been a need for security, right? Like, I don't have a problem with him clocking. It just looks bad with the amount of hours and the amount of payout.
Right.
Right.
So a lot of those hours were before we put a cap on the amount of hours he could put in a week. That was like January, February timeframe. Since then, he is doing, I'd say, between 30 and 40 hours a week there. With the moonshine stills being there, and I know there are people actively cooking on them, for him to swing by and check on them, and if he sees they're being used, maybe hang out, is beneficial. That way, nothing's happened yet, but that's the key word, yet. So that would be right now the main need for security. Once we get the court center reopened, there might be more need.
I agree.
Time.
And I think the way that we pay him should be in a way that he's making money. He may need a different payment structure than most other people, right? Because he's probably doing a million other things at the same time, right?
Right.
But the reality is, right, a court center is while it is a profit loss business, right, because it's intended to create effectively a social hub, that takes money. It means we got to have a burn rate. But as long as things are kind of like still make sense, right? And I think you know what I mean by that. Like
I do.
So,
and I did talk to Danger about his numbers as soon as I kind of saw it black and white going through everything.
Yeah.
So that is something we have spoken about, and we both recognize it was a lot when there was no cap on hours. But he has offered to refund some of the money. I think he said $1 million as well. I don't know if that's something the two of you had spoken to or spoken about before.
Yeah,
but that was the same number he gave me.
I pulled him aside to just kind of gauge with him how he felt about it, and he was totally understanding. I mean, Danger's a legend. You know what I mean? He's in it for the bigger picture thing. I think as our entire cabinet really is we have to effectively show responsibility, right? To everybody in a way.
Exactly.
But God, do I want to go just start spending money like Princess does and just say, fuck it. We just buy up the entire fucking city. You want that little fucking 500-foot house? You want $10 million? There you go. All right. Okay. How have things been otherwise, Jason?
Otherwise, everything's been great. I'm really looking forward to playing on the Sand Planet some more next month. So expect me to be in my apartment that whole first weekend.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'll actually essentially be gone the first 2 weeks of June because I also have a trip out of town I'm going to be going on.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be gone, too. You're going to have to rely on Junior.
Junior's been killing it. Listen, that man's been killing it, man.
I like dogging on him.
Yeah.
He knows I love him.
I did ask Junior to... we got to put up my investment firm and all that shit. Might as well get all that shit done while we got... I'm paying somebody to renovate that spot.
Oh, shit.
I'm thinking Tessa Lamb.
Good choice.
Yeah, she did really good on the distillery.
What's your ping number?
1055.
All right, see you in a bit.
See.
Sorry, the distillery. Oh, she did that. Right.
Tessa did the distillery. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. Oh. So here's some tea.
Oh boy.
Half of ADMC broke up.
Ooh, I heard about this.
I did too.
The TLDR is Shang is mean. And so they yoinked all their shit. And then it's actually fucking childish. I don't get it. Then Chaos Legion, same thing. They said some of their new members were like, Misha's mean. And they did a vote of no confidence and Misha lost. So they're now Misha and company, which includes all the ones I fuck with, quite frankly. He took all the, what I would say are the good people. And I shouldn't say that. I don't, all the people that I know, that when I think Chaos Legion, all those people are now part of Raven. And I told them to put a business proposal and I want to give them a reduced, I want to give them the old bodega, Larry's old bodega, right? We can put that up, but these guys need a home. They want to run a mechanic shop. They're fucking fantastic. So I'm thinking like maybe even just a mill or something, or something that makes sense. And because they need a home, and that's a sick spot for a new 1% crew. You know what I mean? So I told them to put up a proposal or whatever. And honestly, that's the first instance of like a group of individuals that would make use of the Squatters Act, right? Where we can redirect assets for, city development. What else happened? Hades is split now. It's now Hades and Exodus. But I'll leave it at that for now. There's been a fuckload of shit happening this past week. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I've had a little run-in with Exodus.
No bueno.
Nah. It was a shit show.
Do you mind standing over next to Jason there? Want them? It's hard to. My neck's kind of fucked up. Sorry.
Your neck, your back.
Yeah.
All that.
Don't do it. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bad.
Yeah. All right.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So I